All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you this fine afternoon? My name is Ed, and this is another Day Drinking with Double D. Double D with Double D. So, that's fun. Of course, the Double D stands for Daredevil. Matt Murdock, definitely not for Ed. So, I'm sure he'll be showing up shortly. Until then, you're stuck with me. But it should be fun. Hopefully you're excited to hang out and chat and drink. Or if you're watching this on the replay, just to drink and watch my dumbass. Or if you're watching from work, as I know some people always are, listen to me. I mean, you may be able to drink on the job. I don't know what you do. I don't know your life. You may be able to drink on the job. And if you are, I hope you're enjoying it. So, let's talk about what we're going to be drinking today. I do see we've already got a few people in the chat. Sugar Kitty, Mateo, what's going on? For whatever reason, it's not showing up on StreamYard. Oh, there you go. Wow, it likes to jump in suddenly. It catches up all of a sudden. And Gary White. Hey, Gary. How you doing, my man? Good to see you. So, I have a very generous donation. Will this stream involve a nipple shot? Now it will. Just for you, Sugar. Just for you. I have a very generous donation today from a viewer. A very wonderful viewer. LaPrint. LaPrint went ahead and sent me some rye, which is just about the nicest thing anyone can send me. I love it. I love it. It's so nice of him. He also wrote down, he put it in a plastic bag, and he wrote down the specifics on the plastic bag. It's a little hard to see, but I think I'm able to make it out. Buy him dinner first. You don't need to buy me dinner. I'm happy to show off my nips. That's part of the contract that I signed when I got into YouTube. YouTube gives you a contract and they say, what are you willing to do on stream? And I said, nip stuff. And that wasn't even in the contract. I added that in there. I insisted. I was like, hey, do I get paid more if I do nip stuff? And they're like, I don't know. No, we don't have a provision for that. Well, can I do it anyway? Yes, I can. Oh, that also makes sense. You were thinking I was going to shut the nip. Not to, I mean, if you really want me to, I'm sure I could get Erica to do it. David, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for popping by. All right, but yes, I'm going to drink a little bit of this rye today. This is Kozuba and Sons. This is their straight rye. So I believe they're down in Florida, which is not a place that you really associate with distilling. I don't think I've had a lot of whiskey from out of Florida. I think I might have had one, but I don't remember it being all that amazing. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, hey, Whiskey Weddle. He says he misses being able to watch all the streams. Hope all is well. It is. How are you, Mitch? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. I hope everything's good by you, too. Yeah, well, I know a lot of people can actually watch these daytime streams. I figure a lot of people are going to watch this on the replay, if they watch it at all. You know, a lot of people don't want to watch this shit. I don't know why you guys want to watch it, even. But yeah, I hope everything's good by you, dude. Hey, Ballyhoo. Yeah, I know Ballyhoo. I like Ballyhoo. It's really good. Really good grain whiskey. And I think it puts the lie to the whole idea that grain whiskey has to be decades and decades old. I like grain whiskey, younger grain whiskey, if it's been aged in a fun cask, like a port cask, for example. That was just a backhanded way of asking if Erica was around. She is around. I don't think she's going to be showing up during this stream. I can see if she's willing to shoot me in the nip just for you, Sugar Kitty. I can ask. Robotic. What is this? What is happening? What the who? Well, the who is me. The what the is day drinking. The what is happening is also day drinking. And what is this? It's the Rye Gut Review. All right, let's break this out. So 45% ABV. So that's a healthy amount. I like that. 85% rye malt. 15% caramelized rye malt. Now that, I gotta say, that is fun. The 85% rye malt is weird. You would think, you know, when you think like single malt, right? Malted barley. You think the flavor of malted milk balls, toffee, that sort of stuff. And you would think that's what you would get with rye malt too. You would just get more of a malty taste to it. However, that's not necessarily the case. Rye is a funky, weird grain. It's spicy, it's vegetal, it's weird and freaky. And then when you malt it, you don't necessarily just like add malty milk ball toffee flavor. You can get some really weird, funky stuff. I don't know the exact science behind it, how it mashes and how it ferments. I'm sure someone like Whiskey Weddle would know better than I. But what I do know is you can get some weird, funky stuff going with rye malt. However, there's also 15% caramelized rye malt. Now that is kind of fun. You do hear about caramel malts and chocolate malts being used in beer, especially. I think there was a chocolate rye malt in a Woodford release recently. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, malted rye is a funky adventure. It's a funky adventure. It's Bootsy Collins. It's the Bootsy Collins of whiskey. It is a fun mash bill. I dig it. I dig it. But that caramelized, I'm wondering what effect that's going to have. Because, like, you know, depending on how much you cook your malt and how much you kiln it, you get different levels of caramelization and chocolatiness and sweetness and blah, 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 blah. It will be interesting to see how much of that made it through both, like fermentation and what flavors that made, how much of that made it through distillation, et cetera, and ended up in our final product. The only thing I don't have on here is I don't know how old this rye is. On my notes, the notes I got on this plastic bag. Hey, Scott Moody, what's going on? I did do a ballyhoo a few years back. I haven't had their poutine. I would love to have their poutine. So, yeah, I do go off the deep end pretty quickly. It's true. It's true. David is saying, Jason just reviewed a partially caramelized whiskey from Basque country. Oh, he didn't like it that much. He's very particular. Whiskey Jason he has very particular tastes. I love the dude. I love him. He's a great, awesome guy. He does have particular tastes. Me and him don't always agree on the things we like, which is fine. You don't have to. Everyone can have their own opinions. So we'll see what I think of this one. Rotgut is killing it. Thank you, Sugar Kitty. That's awesome. I love a good pun. That's awesome. Good thing you're in here, Weddle. You're very helpful today. Caramelizing the rye malt should increase the complexity, while dropping the yield is a choice based entirely on flavor, as it is more expensive to make and nets you less alcohol. Interesting. You actually get less alcohol from a caramelized malt. That's interesting. I wouldn't have known that. Ooh, okay. First blush, I like this. Yeah, I'm getting that eucalyptus-y smell. Definitely getting a eucalyptus-y smell off of this. LaPrint was really nice too. He also included his own tasting notes. So we'll check that out after I do this. David, no, this is a regular size Glencairn. It's one of the Iron Root ones. Yeah. Does it look really small on camera? That's weird. No, that's a regular size. I'm just fucking with you, David. I'm just fucking with you. This is a tiny Glencairn. I just have humongous Kirby hands. No, I'm just fucking with you. So yeah. So well, I mean, less sugars means less alcohol. That makes sense. Does caramelizing the malt actually lead to less sugar? That's interesting. I guess does it? I mean, I guess if you caramelize the malt, you're burning the sugar, right? I guess that makes sense. You're burning the sugar, and you're actually ending up with less usable sugar. I suppose that makes sense. Yeah, it's definitely small. It's definitely small. I'm getting a lot of spice on this. I'm enjoying that. It's definitely clovey. It's definitely clove and dill. Clove, dill, thyme. Remind me to date girls with small hands. Yeah, clove, dill, thyme. Really, really going in on the green spices, the green and somewhat vegetal spices. There's some black pepper there. There's a little bit of black pepper. There's a little bit of that spice, but yeah, more so. I'm getting clove, a little bit of clove, quite a bit of dill. There's some sweetness there though, and there's some sweetness and some black tea. Like you put honey in black tea. Honey and black tea. Our two science guys, science folk in the chat, you burn sugar, you get carbon and water. And caramelizing the malt does lead to less sugar. If you cook, then you're employing the Maillard reaction. It's a duck reaction. It's named after a duck. You see, ducks were the original French chefs. And some of the Mallards discovered that this reaction of cooking things that made them brown. So that's called the Maillard reaction, after the original French duck chefs. Okay, I'm gonna get a sip. I like the taste. It has a lot of the same stuff that was going on the nose. The only problem is it tastes a little more, it tastes a little thin, right? It tastes just a little thinner than the nose would lead you to believe. The nose is really nice. It does have a little bit of it's pretty dry. It's dry, it's spicy. I wouldn't say it's big and sweet. There is a little bit of a rye bread kind of thing going on, a little bit of a baked, grainy, bready thing. But then the taste is, it is the same. It is the same stuff. It's got the clove. It's got a little bit of a black licorice thing, but it's kind of thin. It's not as big and flavorful as the nose would lead me to believe it was going to be. Patrick Fulmer, I do, but this is my weekend. My weekend this week fell Monday, Tuesday, so that's why I get to do this. And everyone else, I don't know what their problem is. We are drinking the Daffy Duck. Daffy and Donald Duck, the original French chefs. Hey! Glad you're able to listen in. That's awesome. Appreciate it. David is saying he always gets Star Anise, from rye whiskey, but he only tries a few ryes per year because they're so expensive in Ireland. Yeah, I believe it. Having to import and then taxation and all that. I will say, Black licorice or anise is pretty common in rye. Dill, star anise, I think those are probably some of the more divisive flavors you can get out of rye. That and like that wet leaf, that really wet leaf earthy thing. I think those are probably the three most divisive flavors in rye, as opposed to what you get from the barrel, which is more caramels and esters and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I'm not surprised you get that for sure. For sure. This one, I don't know if I get it on this particular one so much. And there are some that don't have it whatsoever. It really does depend on the rye. Hey, Cheech! Good to see you, my dude. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. And, oh, you were just digging out? Yeah, we got a ton of snow. I hear you guys got even more snow than we did, though. I hear the Northeast is in a real bad place right now with that kind of thing. Patrick Fulmer. Oh, you just got the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. Not. Oh, wait. He says 180, and he passed. That's fair. That's fair. 180 is really heavy for that. Yeah, I would probably pay that because I'm cavalier with my finances. However, that is really heavy. Yeah, Sugar Katie says 60. I think 60 was around what I paid, maybe 75-ish. So David is saying, what number batch is the dingle on the shelf? I think that's 4. Yes, that's batch number 4. Which was funny. Me and Erica actually really liked that one. Eric Waite hated it. Eric Waite thought it was the worst fucking thing he's ever had. I liked it. So, Jesus, 32 inches. Wow, that's nuts. Robotic, he would chat more, but he's a very important doctor. Brigadier General movie director. I mean, that's understandable. You know, in my day job, I'm a space pirate, deep sea diving engineer. So I understand the work comes first, man. Oh, that sounds good. I was going to make some mashed potatoes after this little stream. Yeah, and you know, I do get a little, there's a touch of carameliness here. Now, whether or not that comes from a caramelized rye grain or that's just, you know, barrel influence, because obviously this was done in new charred oak, is hard to say. I'm definitely getting the spicier elements of like a rye malt. I don't get a lot of funk though. I don't get that, you know, weird, like kind of basementy funk that you sometimes get. But I certainly do get the spicy elements. Actually, on the taste though, I do get a little dark chocolate. There's a little bitter dark chocolate there. Kind of reminds me of Dad's Hat Rye. Dad's Hat Rye has a very pronounced bitter chocolate note. This has a little bit of that too. Just a little bit. Mixed in with that more green, spicy, pokey elements. I like that. I like that. The nice thing with this too is that that dark chocolatey note doesn't overtake the spice. I think, for example, on Dad's Hat, sometimes that dark chocolate note is excessive and it kind of drowns out some of the spicier elements I really like, some of the clove, pepper, dill stuff. So this is more well balanced than that. This has just a little itty bitty bit, and then that kind of mixes in well with the spice. Still a little thin on the taste, though. Nose I really like. The taste, I don't know why, but it's a little thin. Yeah, Jamaican rum is really funky. Well, Jamaican rum is that bittersweet blackstrap molasses, man. That makes for a funky drink. Woo, woo. I am curious about that. I do think some peated bourbons have been okay. However, I generally don't think the people who are making peated bourbon have gone far enough and added enough peat to really make it worthwhile. I know New Riff did a back set with peated mash with a rye. I haven't gotten to try it. I'd be interested to know how that turned out. But I feel like if you're gonna do peat, and this is something I feel about the same way with single malt or whatever, is that you can't do just a little bit of peat for my taste. That's why I don't like Johnnie Walker products that much. Johnnie Walker, except for maybe the green, generally doesn't use enough peat. If you're going to do a peated rye, I would like them to go all in on it. Really, really ramp up that peat. So, Weddle is saying he had a peated rye that he thought was really, really good. Who was that from? If you don't mind me asking. Oh, he's got to head to work. Okay, that's okay. I got you. Robotic. Oh, George Clinton. Yeah. I've been watching. You guys got to check this show out. If you haven't already, it's called Tales from the Tour Bus. It's actually narrated by the guy who voiced Hank Hill on King of the Hill. And it is fantastic. They have a series on funk. They have a series on outlaw country, which is really good. I'm watching the outlaw country one right now. It's so goddamn funny. And part of it is it's funny because these people are completely insane and they do so many drugs. But yeah, check that show out. The funk series is awesome. Talking about Bootsy Collins and James Brown and Rick James, George Clinton. Great stuff. Great stuff. Liberty Pole, peated rye. I'll have to check that one out. I'll see if I can't find a little bit of that somewhere. Also, if you're gonna watch Tales from the Tour Bus, definitely check out the Outlaw Country series. Those guys are nuts. Like there's Willie Nelson, who just smokes a bunch of weed and doesn't pay his taxes, and then there's Waylon Jennings, who does all the drugs, like $1,500 of cocaine a day, and smokes 6 packs of cigarettes, and is diabetic, and is just an absolute nut job. But then they get into these guys like Billy Joe Shaver and Johnny Paycheck. These sons of bitches just wouldn't stop shooting people. They both just, like Johnny Paycheck stole a bunch, like a brick of cocaine from the Hells Angels, drove across country just doing cocaine, and then shot a dude in the head. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, no, Willie Nelson is amazing. Willie Nelson comes off as like, in these stories though, he comes off as like the most mild-mannered, normal one of these guys. Like, I just want to smoke weed and play music. These other guys are fucking psychopaths. Okay, let's check out what his tasting notes were real quick. I think he also gave me, yes, I think he gave me his shopping list. He wrote his tasting notes down on the back of his shopping list. By the way, thank you, Mr. LaPrint. This is awesome. You are a scholar, a gentleman, and a wonderful, wonderful person all around. Okay, so he actually did Whistle Pig, Old Forester, and then this one, the Mr. Rye, Kozuba and Sons. So he said Kozuba and Sons, he thought was mild cardboard, mild pepper, really dull. Okay. He didn't like this one. He didn't like this one too much. Okay. That's all right. He was comparing it to Old Forester and Whistle Pig. So Whistle Pig, oak, mild anise, little spicy, slightly medicinal and grassy. That's fair. Bubblegum. Old Forester was bubblegum. I do hear that a lot. A lot of people get bubblegum on the Old Forester rye. The faint licorice on the nose. Slightly astringent, lively, mild spice, grass, dark licorice spice. Interesting that he got a grassy note on both the Whistle Pig and the Old Forester. I do think I understand that grassy note, though. Grassy to me, I guess it always comes off as a kind of a, what do you call it? That wet leaf kind of thing. Similar note. Eggs, milk, IPS tablets. Yeah, right. Yes, almost another day drinking. Almost another. Well, this is a day drinking, but I'm glad you're here to see it. Yeah, it's the American dream. Just sitting around while I talk about whiskey for a half hour. That's the good stuff. Mateo agrees. Okay, yeah, getting the bubble gum on the Old Forester rye. I'm gonna wait. I wonder if I still have any Old Forester rye left. I kind of want to compare them now. See what's going on there. I thought I still had some, unless I gave it to Erica, trying to get her to drink more rye. I do that from time to time. Where did I put that? See, I don't do a very good job organizing, so then Erica comes through and reorganizes. She's better at that than me. I wonder if we killed it. We should really keep better track of what we have. Oh, you almost missed it. Yeah. Well, you didn't. You didn't, Rube. I've been trying to advertise these a little bit ahead of time so people actually have a chance to show up. So LaPrint actually, he didn't much care for Kozuba, which is too bad. Honestly, this is not bad. I don't think this is, the taste is thin. I said that before. I think the taste is thin. It's not as interesting on the taste as it could be. However, I like the nose. Nose smells good to me. I don't know what he means by the cardboard. I think it smells a little caramely, a little spicy. Doing good stuff on the nose by my taste buds. Yeah, taste could be better. Didn't really, a lot of that spice kind of went away on the taste. The taste, I agree with LaPrint on the taste. Little bit dull, little thin. Had some elements I liked, but not quite as punchy as I like my rye to be. Edward gets bubblegum on his Big League Chew. It'd be interesting if you got a gum that tasted like whiskey. That's what would be really interesting, is if there's ever a whiskey that tastes like bubblegum rather than a bubblegum that tastes like whiskey and a whiskey that tastes like bubblegum. David is saying he's never gotten bubblegum on any whiskey, probably because there's several crappy rums which have disclosed artificial bubblegum flavor. Ooh. Yeah, I don't go for flavored rum. I don't care for it. I don't care for it. It's not my thing. I've had like a really weird flavored rum Erica brought back from the Bahamas. It was really gross. Patrick! Thank you so much. That's awesome, my dude. Thank you for your generous super chat. I appreciate it, my dude. I appreciate it. Goramangut. And he says he's gotten bubblegum on a few products. The main thing I've gotten bubblegum on, honestly, is mixing Fireball with ginger ale. For whatever reason, that tastes like bubblegum to me. And not just like cinnamon gum, like bubblegum with cinnamon in it. Go figure. And okay, Erica's back in here. She's got to get back to work. I'm going to call it a day. But Edward is asking about Weller Antique. No, man, we don't even get regular Weller. We don't get any kind of Weller. We're lucky to get Buffalo Trace, man. Yeah, no. I think we very, very rarely get anything from like the BT stuff that people are really looking for. Very rarely. So it's not something that we even see. I'm sure we would probably sell it at retail because we're not bastards, but it just doesn't happen. So what are you going to do? But oh, yes, and Robotic is reminding us to hit the like button if you haven't already. Thank you, Robotic. You're a sweetheart. You really are. And flavored rums don't disclose that they have flavors. Ah, yes. That's bad. That's bad. Oh, Erica, Sugar Katie says hi.
Hi.
Yeah. So she's over there working though. So I'm going to get out of here. This was another little short day drinking session with me. We got a video coming out tomorrow. Make sure to check it out. It's a fun one. It's a fun one. It's one that I'm surprised we haven't done already. So be sure to check that out. And then come back on Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time, because it's going to be me, Jason from Mash and Drum, Neil from Bourbon Buddies, and maybe Scott from My Bourbon Journey, if he can make it. We are going to be talking finished bourbons and, well, kind of whether or not they are bourbon and what category they really belong in. What are the ups and downs, and what are they? Are they good? You know, well, I mean, they're good. We know they make good ones, but like, what are their place in the whiskey world? So make sure to check out that stream. Cheers, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. And until next time, I finished off my drink. I need a little bit more to cheers you guys out. Until next time, make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay rotten.